Welcome to the video representation video tutorial for the Final Cut Pro log and transfer function. Log and transfer is how you'll bring in raw video from the SDHC card you use to record in your camera onto the hard drive of your computer in a video format that Final Cut Pro can work with. To get to log and transfer, we go to File, Log and Transfer, and the log and transfer interface will open. If all goes well, Final Cut Pro will automatically recognize the SDHC card files waiting to be transcoded. Transcoding is the process of changing from the raw files to a usable video file. That's the case here. The list comes up with a number of video files ready to be worked with. If Final Cut Pro doesn't automatically find or recognize your card, you can search for it manually by going to the Add Volume button in the top left. You would simply click this button, browse to the place where your card is, click the folder in which the videos are likely to exist, and click Open. Once you have the list ready to work with, you can start doing the paper logging process, which we haven't had a chance to talk about yet. In the paper log, you will enter the time code and a short description for all the clips on your card. This is a way of keeping track of the material so that you can refer back to it at a later time. It's also an important way for organizing the great quantity of material that you're likely to end up working with. With the clips, we can preview them by highlighting and watching them here in the preview window. Here we can play the clips. We can scrub through them by clicking and dragging the playhead. In order to get the beginning and end time codes, we would want to bring the playhead all the way to the left to ensure that it's played all the way back, and then check the time code here in the top right. This would be the starting time code. We generally ignore the first two digits. Minutes, seconds, and frames are the important reference for us. To get the end time code, we simply drag the playhead all the way to the end. I noticed that this didn't want to go to the end, so I'll finish playing the rest of the clip to ensure it's finished, and then record the end time code. I can watch the clip or even just scrub through it to get a brief idea of what kind of description, action, or camera framing is going on, and then enter those things in the description field of the time log sheet. Once the shot is logged, we can decide whether or not to add it to our collection of files for use in the film. If we don't want to use this particular clip, we'll just ignore it and move on to the next clip. Once logging and describing this clip in the log sheet, we can decide to add it to the queue either in whole or in part. If we want to include the entire clip, we would start by changing the name of the clip either here in the list view or here in the clip name field. You'll notice that any changes made in one field are automatically updated in the other. If we want to select only part of the clip and not the entire clip, we can go to the preview bar, the preview window, set ins and outs in the appropriate place, and then click Add Clip to Queue. When we do so, the clip appears in the bottom left transcoding portion of the interface as it's being transcoded. When it is finished transcoding, it disappears from the queue. If we wanted the entire clip, of course, we simply would not include the ins and outs and add clip to queue directly. It's possible to add several clips to the queue all at once. Longer clips take a longer time to transcode. You'll notice that the status bar indicates this clip is being transcoded, and this is a progress bar that tells us roughly how far along the transcoding is. Transcoding is resource intensive. That means it makes the computer work pretty hard, and doing other tasks while transcoding is not recommended. For example, transcoding long clips or lots of clips is likely to take a good deal of time. You can see that this clip, although 16 minutes long, will probably take 4 or 5 minutes to transcode. Several clips of that length will take much longer. Surfing the web or running other software has the potential to disrupt Final Cut Pro and its processes and could lead to corrupted video files. So I would avoid working in multitasking on a computer that's in the process of transcoding. You don't want to have put in all that work into careful filmmaking only to have it corrupted in the process of changing it over digitally. A final note is that you never want to turn off Final Cut Pro or the computer or even close the login transfer window before the transcoding is finished. That will disrupt the clips and also lead to corrupted files, which will make them useless for you in filmmaking, or at the very least make them flawed and less than the ideal clip that you recorded in the first place. This is the login transfer window, an important and powerful asset, and of course, an early step in your way to making beautiful movies. So get cracking.